After nearly 3 decades of marriage, a seismic shift is rippling through Hollywood. Hugh Jackman and Deborra-Lee Furness, the beloved Australian power couple whose love seemed unbreakable, are parting ways. In a world where celebrity relationships often falter, theirs had stood the test of time. But even the most enduring love stories can reach a crossroads. We have been blessed to share almost 3 decades together. Our journey now is shifting, and we have decided to separate to pursue our individual growth, they said in the joint statement. Yet beneath the surface, indicators hinted at underlying issues in their union. Earlier this year, the couple listed their lavish Hamptons holiday home for rent, a move that raised eyebrows. Also, according to various reports, the difficulties in their relationship were connected to the COVID pandemic, with claims that lockdown measures had placed a strain on their bond. Furthermore, the ongoing writers' strike added another layer of complexity to their situation. However, join us as we journey through the timeline of Hugh Jackman and Deborra-Lee Furness's epic love story, a story that's about to take an unexpected turn.
Hugh met Deborra-Lee Furness in 1995 on the set of the Australian TV series Corelli. And for Hugh, it was pretty much love at first sight.
She had sunglasses on, and I forget, she took off her seatbelt and she turned around on the front seat with her knees on the front seat and she put out her hand and took off her sunglasses and said, "Hi, I'm Deborra-Lee Furness."
For the first 2 weeks on set, Deborah made him so nervous that he couldn't even speak to her and hardly made any eye contact. Eventually, the actress asked Hugh if she had done anything to upset him, and he finally admitted that he had a crush on her.
I knew pretty soon in, but it was also my first job. Deb was a leading lady, and I was fully aware this was a cliche and I was probably being ridiculous.
When I met Deb, I knew immediately I was going to marry her. I forced myself to wait 6 months because I thought, maybe it's infatuation. I'm too young to know. I felt a complete trust with her to be exactly who I am. After just a couple of months of dating, Hugh couldn't wait any longer, and he proposed to Deborah. They went on to get married less than a year later. The couple were smitten and completely inseparable. Furness is 13 years older than Jackman, and they married when she was 40.
My New Year's resolution was I'm not dating any actors, and definitely none under 30. Meet my husband.
The couple knew that they wanted to get an immediate start on making their own family. We always wanted kids. I was brought up in a family with 5 kids. 2 were adopted, 3 biological. It was a natural mix to me. Deb felt that way too. Unfortunately, conceiving a child was a lot more difficult for the pair than they thought it would be. Furness underwent several IVF treatments, but the struggle continued. While trying to get pregnant, the actress suffered 2 miscarriages, which left the couple completely distraught and heartbroken.
We struggled, a couple of miscarriages, IVF. It was not easy, it was difficult, particularly on Deb.
They finally came to the decision that they would adopt, bringing home a son, Oscar, in 2000, and daughter Ava just a few years later. In 2013, Jackman received some shocking news. He was diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common form of cancer. He had an unusual spot on his nose, and it was only after Deborah convinced him to get it checked out that he decided to go to the doctor. If it hadn't been for Deborah, who knows if Hugh would have even gotten the spot looked at. His wife quite literally saved his life. Over the next few years, he would have to have at least another 5 procedures done to remove the new growths. "I go every 3 months for checkups," he said. "It's the new normal for me. My doctor says I'll likely have more, and if that's your cross to bear in life, you should be so lucky." Hugh is now a strong advocate of sunscreen, always urging those around him to make sure their skin is being protected. But despite his diagnosis, the actor didn't slow down for 1 second. He made his 9th film in the X-Men franchise, Logan, in 2017. It was his last appearance as Wolverine, and fans couldn't help but struggle to say goodbye to their favorite mutant. Hugh credits his beautiful wife of over 25 years to being his rock and support through everything that they've undergone. Hugh states that because they were married before he hit A-lister status, it helped their relationship. They knew each other better than anyone else, and they weren't going to let the bright lights of fame deter them from their relationship. They were also able to ground each other, reminding one another where they came from, and that their celebrity status wasn't something to interfere with their daily lives.
Together we decide what our priorities are, right, as a couple, as a family.
When they got married, they set out some very specific rules for their relationship, and Jackman says it's one of the reasons that they're able to make their marriage work. Deborah and Hugh both knew that an acting career comes with a lot of travel, so they knew that they would be facing some time apart in the near or distant future. But they made it one of their rules, not to spend more than 2 weeks apart. Another one of their rules is that they never go to sleep if they're upset with one another. They always make sure to sort out whatever it is they may have disagreed about before they go to bed. We never go to bed on a cross word. Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but we kind of work it out before we go to sleep. The couple have also promised to one another that family always comes first. Career is never to come before their personal relationships. They're completely honest with one another, and they're a constant support to one another too. They make sure to spend as much quality time together as they can, and make sure to never miss any birthdays or anniversaries. The devoted husband has even created an Instagram hashtag for his darling wife, #MyDebs, which he uses very often to share all of their special moments together. And that's not the only place he shares his love for Deborah. Even when he's at red carpet events and she's not by his side, he'll walk out and put his hand on his heart, and he'll always look at his wife in the audience.